Hi everyone, I'm Jay. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll show you how I made these minced beef and onion pasties. Tender flavoursome beef encased in deliciously light flaky pastry. First I'll make a start on the pastry. I've measured out 340 grams of plain flour and I'll add to that a pinch of salt. To the flour I will add 170 grams of cold butter. I've chopped them into little cubes just to make it easier to incorporate into the flour. I'm literally just pinching and rubbing the butter into the flour with the tips of my fingers. I'll do this until I get a sandy texture. It's fine if there's a few lumps of butter in there though. And after a few minutes that's done, and I'll just make a little well in the centre, and I'm adding some ice cold water gradually just to form a dough. I'm not going to have to work too hard to knead the dough together. When there's enough water, everything comes together really easily. Now that's done, I just wrap with some cling film and I'll pop that into the fridge to rest. In the meantime, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of oil to my pan. Once hot, I'm going to add 1 medium onion that I've chopped into fairly small pieces. So I've cooked the onions down until they're nice and soft, and then I add 2 cloves of chopped garlic. Now I'll add my minced beef. I'm using 500 grams with 10% fat. I just spend a few minutes breaking up the chunks. Now that the beef is browned, I'm going to add 1 heaped tablespoon of dried thyme and a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And in goes half a teaspoon of white pepper. And completely optional, but I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of hot chili flakes just for some extra heat. And 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. And 3 to 4 tablespoons of chopped tomatoes. I'm adding a couple of drops of browning. That's also optional. And I'm going to stir in 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And now I'm crushing half a beef stock cube. And I'll stir in some boiling water before popping the lid on and allowing to cook until the meat is nice and tender. I'll check in between time to stir and make sure that it doesn't dry down too much and stick to the pan. So I've allowed it to cook with the lid on for about 25 minutes. The beef is nice and tender and I've checked for seasoning and it's ready to come off the heat now. I'm going to let it cool down for about an hour or so, and in the meantime I'm going to take the pastry out of the fridge. So the mince has cooled down now, and as you can see there's not much liquid in there, but it's still nice and juicy. As you can see, I've dusted my surface with plenty of flour, and I'm just going to cut the pastry in half to make it easier to roll. At this point I've also preheated the oven to 180 Celsius. I keep lifting and moving my pastry around after every couple of rolls. I've beaten 1 egg and I'm just going to brush the edges. I'm generous with the amount of beef I load into the centre of the pastry, and I just crimp the edges with my fingers. After making sure that the sides are sealed properly, I score the top with a knife. And then I brush all over with the egg. So they're all ready to go in the oven, and I'll bake these for around 30 to 40 minutes at 180 Celsius until they're golden brown. And here they are after 30 minutes of baking, juicy beef filling packed with flavour, wrapped in a flaky melt-in-the-mouth pastry. I hope you've enjoyed today's recipe. For more delicious recipes like this, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.